Welcome to the deep dive. We're here to cut through the noise and find those nuggets of knowledge that, well, that really matter.
Absolutely.
When you hear success, what pops into your head first? Maybe a huge house, a shelf full of trophies, or, that corner office with the amazing view.
Usual suspects.
Exactly. We see these external things, wealth, fame, power, and we're kind of taught that's the definition. But what if? What if that whole picture is like an illusion? Especially for women.
That's a big question.
What if real success, a truly thriving life, is something, deeper, more sustainable, and maybe, just maybe, more fulfilling?
Well, it's interesting you say that because our deep dive into the research points to something really quite profound. Often, under that shiny surface of conventional success you find, well, especially for women, there's often this quiet exhaustion.
Right, the pressure.
Constant pressure, yeah. And sacrificing real happiness just to keep up appearances. The insights we've looked at suggest true success isn't really about the awards or the job title. It's more about finding a genuine harmony between inner peace and outer achievements.
Okay, I like that. Harmony. So let's peel back those layers then. Our mission today is to figure out what really separates a woman who's genuinely thriving from someone who's just, playing a tough role. We've got some fascinating source material here. It points to 10 habits that are, frankly, surprising. They really challenge the usual ideas about being successful.
They absolutely do.
So we're going to unpack each one, not just list them, but really dig into why these specific habits might be more important than anything else you've been told. Get ready to maybe rethink success a bit. The deep dive. 10 surprising habits. Okay, let's jump right into the first habit. And this one, it feels a bit counterintuitive straight away. She makes time for herself, even if the world calls her selfish. Why would self-care be seen as shocking?
It seems basic, right?
Yeah. But women are often, pushed from day one to put everyone else first. Family, partners, work. So taking time for yourself feels almost radical. Forbidden, even.
Precisely. And this habit, it cuts right to the core. The material we looked at is crystal clear. Pouring from an empty cup is impossible. It's just not sustainable.
Makes sense.
So for these truly successful women, self-care isn't some fluffy extra. It's framed as survival, not selfish. And that looks like setting really clear boundaries.
How so?
Well, she'll say no without apology to meetings that aren't essential, to draining social things, or, crucially, to toxic relationships. And she says a definite yes to her personal time.
Like what kind of time?
Could be anything, really. Long walks, journaling, maybe just silence. Our sources actually point to strong evidence showing that women who practice self-care are significantly more resilient against burnout, anxiety, and chronic illness.
Wow. Significantly more resilient.
Yeah. And she doesn't apologize for it. She knows she can't give her best if she's running on empty. She needs to be whole.
So it's way beyond just like a bubble bath once a month.
Oh, absolutely.
It's a whole mindset shift. Seeing your well-being as the actual fuel, it really makes you think, doesn't it? About the boundaries you might need to set or maybe reset.
It does. And often that starts with having the courage to just say no.
Okay, building on that self-care foundation, the next insight feels just as deep. She challenges herself constantly because comfort zones kill dreams. We all kind of want to stay safe, right?
Yeah.
Stick with what we know.
It's human nature.
But here's the fascinating bit. These successful women aren't fearless. Not at all. They feel the fear, but they relate to it differently.
That's spot on. The sources show they feel fear deeply, but they still, dive headfirst into challenges.
Can you give an example?
Sure. Think about giving that speech, even when your voice is shaking, or applying for that big role, even when someone hints you're not experienced enough. Starting a business when people are whispering it might fail.
Yeah, okay.
The material describes the comfort zone really vividly, not as a safe haven, but as silent killer.
Wow, a silent killer.
Yeah, because it murders potential without anyone noticing. It really emphasizes that growth hurts, but stagnation destroys. So for them, fear isn't a red light. It's more like a signal.
A signal that you're growing.
Exactly. That you're pushing your boundaries, expanding yourself.
That's a really powerful way to look at it. But how do you know, I wonder, if the fear is a growth signal or just a warning sign? It seems like a tricky balance. Makes you think, though, what's one area in your life where you might be playing it safe? And what tiny step could you take to just nudge that boundary?
It's about discernment, I think. Tuning in to what truly serves your growth, even if it feels uncomfortable.
Right. Okay, continuing this theme of growth, habit number 3. She educates herself beyond schooling. Knowledge is her power. It's so easy to finish college or university and think, okay, learning done. But what role does ongoing self-driven learning really play?
Oh, it's absolutely fundamental. Our research is really emphatic on this. Successful women never stop learning. They don't just coast on that old degree.
So what does that look like in practice?
It's diverse. They read constantly, actively learn new skills, maybe coding, a language, negotiation tactics. They go to workshops, listen to podcasts like this one, and this is key, they seek out mentors, people smarter than them.
Mentors, right.
And here's what's really interesting. Many women who reach these high levels, they didn't get there because of privilege or luck. Not solely, anyway. They strategically turned knowledge into a weapon.
A weapon, that's strong language.
It is. But think about it, especially in situations where women might be underestimated. Continuous learning becomes their shield and sword. Yeah. It's a massive strategic advantage. It levels the playing field.
That reframes learning completely, not just a hobby, but a strategy. But gosh, there's so much information out there. How do they choose? How do you avoid just drowning in it all? It really makes you reflect. What's one new thing you could explore this week? Even something small.
I think it comes back to aligning it with your goals. Being intentional, not just consuming randomly, but learning with purpose.
Okay, moving on to habit 4. This one, I think, hits home for a lot of women. She understands guilt, but refuses to drown in it. Guilt seems to be everywhere, doesn't it? Working too much, not enough. Career versus family, family versus career. It feels inescapable sometimes.
It really does. And this habit describes a pretty radical approach. The successful woman, she acknowledges guilt. She accepts it might be there.
Okay.
But then she deliberately moves on. She doesn't let it chain her. She understands deeply that guilt is nothing but a manipulative tool society uses to keep women small.
A manipulative tool.
Wow. Think about the pressure on working moms, for instance. The classic double bind, right? Focus on work, you're neglecting family. Focus on family, you like ambition. Guilt is used to box women in.
That's depressingly accurate.
So the source reveals something quite profound.
Huh.
A guilt-free woman is a powerful woman, and powerful women scare the world. It's about seeing the emotion for what it is, but not letting it steer the ship.
Seeing it, not being controlled by it, that framing of guilt as a tool, that's really something. Where does that conditioning even come from? And how do these women start breaking free? It really makes you ask yourself, doesn't it, how might guilt be subtly pulling your strings right now?
It's often deeply ingrained, culturally, generationally, but becoming aware of it and practicing fierce self-compassion, that's the start of taking his power away.
Okay, habit 5 tackles another big one. She is financially savvy and doesn't apologize for wanting wealth. Money still feels a bit awkward, doesn't it? For women especially. We get praised for being caregivers, but maybe judged if we're openly ambitious about money.
Yes, that tension is real. But what's incredibly clear from our research is the huge importance placed on financial independence. The material puts it bluntly. Financial independence is not luxury, it's
freedom.
Freedom, that's powerful. And these women are practical about it. They budget, they invest, they negotiate their salaries firmly, they build wealth, and they don't apologize for it. They understand that dependence is dangerous and money gives her choices.
Real choices.
Exactly. Our deep dive highlighted that many women remain trapped in toxic relationships or jobs because of financial dependence. The truly successful woman, she breaks this chain, not just for herself, but creating a different legacy.
It really does feel like a cornerstone for real autonomy. What do you think are the biggest, maybe internal roadblocks women hit when they try to step into that financial power? And how do these habits help push past them? It definitely nudges all of us to think about concrete steps, right? To boost our own financial independence.
Often it's battling that internal voice saying it's unfeminine or greedy to focus on money. These habits reframe wealth as a tool for freedom, for impact, for choices.
Habit number 6 is subtle. Very subtle, but telling. She smiles, but never as a mask. We all know that pressure, don't we? For women to just look pleasant, smile, even if you're fuming inside.
Right, that performative smile.
Yeah.
But the smile of the truly successful woman described here, it's different. It's not to please others. It's not fake.
So what is it then?
Our research frames it as an act of rebellion, a kind of declaration that despite all the hurdles, she has joy.
An act of rebellion, I like that.
Yeah. She smiles not because life is perfect, far from it, but because she chooses resilience over despair. It's an authentic expression of her inner strength, her chosen optimism, her agency, really.
So it's less please like me and more I've got this. A smile of resilience. It makes you pause, doesn't it? When was the last time your smile felt truly authentic, a genuine reflection of inner strength?
Exactly. It's a smile that says, I'm still standing and I choose joy.
Okay, habit 7. This one might ruffle some feathers in our 24/7 hustle culture. She creates a life outside of work, because work is not her identity. It feels like jobs define us so much these days, doesn't it? That relentless professional grind.
It really does. And this is a critical distinction. While she's absolutely passionate about her work, dedicated even, she consciously makes space for passions beyond it.
What kinds of passions?
The sources mention things like travel, maybe painting, meditation, really nurturing friendships, even just enjoying being alone sometimes. It clearly states that the most successful women are those who don't burn out chasing titles, but instead build a full, meaningful life.
A full life, not just a full resume.
Precisely. There's this deeper understanding. True success means your work thrives because your soul is nourished, not at the expense of it. Her identity isn't solely wrapped up in her job title. It's richer, more layered.
It sounds like rejecting that all-or-nothing trap where your career demands everything. It definitely makes you think, what's one passion you have outside of work that maybe needs a bit more tending?
It's about building resilience, isn't it?
Yeah.
So if one area of life hits a rough patch, your whole sense of self doesn't just collapse.
Right. Okay. Moving towards the end here. Habit 8. She sets goals and ruthlessly tracks them. We've all made vague resolutions, right? I'll exercise more, I'll save money. But what does it take to go from wishful thinking to actually making things happen?
This is really where the rubber meets the road. Most people have vague hopes. Successful women, according to our sources, set precise goals, and they measure their progress like a scientist.
Like a scientist, how so?
She breaks big dreams down into actual steps, into strategies. She sets timelines. She holds herself accountable. And if she stumbles, which happens, right?
Of course.
She adjusts, but never quits. And there's a really compelling statistic highlighted. Research shows that women who write down their goals and track them consistently are 42% more likely to achieve them.
42%, that's huge!
It is. It drives home the point. This isn't about luck. It's intentional. Success doesn't happen by chance. It's engineered.
Engineered, not wished for. That 42% really sticks with you. It's the process, not just the intention. Definitely challenges you, doesn't it? To take one of your goals and make it sharper, more measurable. How could you track it?
It turns a fuzzy wish into a clear roadmap. That's the power.
Okay, habit 9. This one pushes back against another common expectation for women. She celebrates wins, both big and small. We're often told, stay humble, don't brag, kind of. Shrink yourself when you succeed.
Yes, that pressure is real. But what's deeply insightful here is recognizing the actual power of celebration. Our sources explain that celebrating fuels momentum. It actually rewires the brain for confidence.
Rewires the brain. Interesting.
Yeah, so she celebrates everything. Closing a big deal, sure, but also finishing a tough project, maybe reading a challenging book, or just getting through a really hard week with grace.
So not just the giant milestones.
Not at all. And the really transformative idea here is that women who celebrate themselves don't just win more often, they inspire other women to rise too. It's an act of self-acknowledgement that creates ripples.
So it's not just personal, it actually lifts others up too. That's a lovely thought. Definitely makes you think, what's a recent win, even a tiny one, that you could take a moment to genuinely celebrate?
It's like saying, my effort matters, my progress matters, and that self-worth. It's contagious.
And that leads us beautifully to our final habit, number 10. It speaks to a different kind of generosity. She helps others, but without losing herself. This isn't about just endless self-sacrifice, is it?
No, not at all. It's a more sustainable model. She actively lifts others up. Through mentoring, through kindness, through generosity. She understands that her power multiplies when shared.
Power multiplying.
Exactly.
Right.
But, and this is crucial, unlike that stereotype of the woman who gives until she's empty, she helps without draining herself empty.
That's the key difference.
It is. And this balance, it apparently shocks many because society expects women to give endlessly. But she, as the research suggests, rewrites the rules she gives, but she also guards her own strength. It's strategic giving, impactful giving. Sustainable giving.
That completely reframes generosity, doesn't it? It's not martyrdom, it's strategic support that actually energizes everyone. It really makes you consider, how can you give to others in a way that feels sustainable, even energizing for you, not draining?
It's the ultimate way to lead by example, I think. showing that strength and generosity can absolutely coexist.
Wow. Okay, that was quite a deep dive into the surprising habits of truly successful women. What really stands out is how the world often pushes this old, kind of exhausting checklist on women, right?
hmm The job, the family, the looks.
Yeah, all supposedly perfect. But our sources show that's often an illusion, leading to burnout. The woman who is truly thriving, she lives differently. She consciously embraces these habits, the self-care, the challenging herself, the financial savvy, all of it.
And maybe the final, most powerful takeaway, the ultimate shocking truth from our research is this. She doesn't wait for permission to live like this.
No permission needed.
Nope. She creates her own definition of success, and that is the ultimate rebellion. It's about taking charge, defining flourishing on your own terms, not just bending to what everyone else expects.
That is a powerful and honestly really empowering note to end on. The ultimate rebellion. Creating your own definition. So based on everything we've explored today, maybe the question for you listening is, what does your definition of true success look like now? And which of these surprising habits might you choose to embrace as your own act of rebellion?
Something to mull over.
Definitely something to mull over. We'll leave you with that for your own personal deep dive. Thanks so much for listening.